What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Dadgum Americando. We got a big night planned tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We got my man, some would say the most handsome man of all time, Mr. Not Chuck Diesel, obviously. We talk about J.R. Carroll. Chuck Diesel is not even close to being the most handsome man that I know. So pumped to have him here. Man, I got so many folks here. All of the ride or dies. We got Chad, we got Jess, the Godfather, La Paz, LTD. There's some new folks that I don't know. Thank y'all so much for everybody being here. We're trying to do this multi-streaming thing on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. So y'all get your questions in the comments. I'm going to try to get to as many questions as I can. But before I do that, my number one man, my right-hand man, y'all know him. You love him. Everybody give a big round of applause to the one and only Mr. Chucky Diesel, all the way from his fancy hotel room. How you doing, Dees? What's going on, buddy?
What's up, y'all? It is hot Atlanta in here. 3 days on the road, and I'm going to see my homies tonight. Let me tell you what, eyes on the prize. And so it is going to be a night, I tell you what.
Man, when I thought that you weren't going to be here in this interview with me, I was a little worried. So glad to have you here. We know you bring all of the depth to this channel. You bring the profoundness
and the looks.
Mainly the looks.
Definitely
I'm going to have two guys on the stream tonight that make me look very homely. But man, we got so much going on. We got so much good stuff. I'm going to show you guys real quick what our schedule is going to be like. We've got some amazing nights planned, some of my favorite nights. So if you're new to the channel, I'm making Celebrate Americana music. We do a lot of reaction videos, but the best thing that we do is love on artists, in which we're going to do that here in a little bit. But we got J.R. Carroll tonight. I'm going to do a live concert next Tuesday. So if you want to come recommend some songs, community musician night is coming up, which is where if you're a musician in the community, you can have us celebrate you. So you can send us songs or you can come and play a song, and we're going to love on the musicians that are in our community. The 21st, we got classic country night with Big Perch and Uncle Glenn. We're going to listen to some classic country with my grandfather and his brother, which will be hilarious. Do not miss that night. It's going to get wild. And then for our members only on the 28th, we're going to have a concert where me and Chucky D are going to be playing some music. And so if you're not a member yet, you can go join at bertbyler.com/join. It's the best way to support the channel. It's the best way to support what we got going on here. So if you're interested in that, go do it. You can do it for $5 or $15 a month, and we would really appreciate it. You got anything else we need to talk about before we bring this beautiful man on?
I just want to talk about the fact that once again, it is Tuesday night, and I am in my feels. Oh, you got messages up on the screen. This is crazy,
figured
man.
out how to make it work.
It's
Let's
like
go.
A whole new world.
Look,
I noticed that you got rid of all the gear that I recommended, and suddenly everything works fine. I think there's a reason you're the tech guy, and I just head up the research department. I'm in my fields. I'm traveling. I get weird when I travel. I love you guys. I miss you guys. I am over in the Discord, but I don't know how to do comments on my phone yet, but I'm working on it. Boomer over here. Anyway, so hopefully if you have some real chatty shit talk you want to send my way, Bert can flash it up on the screen and we'll be good to go.
Yeah, I got to get as much comments up here as possible. We got folks from Twitch. We got folks from Facebook. We got folks from YouTube. We got everybody here. But ladies and gentlemen, it is that time. Now, whenever I started a meager little YouTube channel and I started reacting to some country and Americana videos, the idea never crossed my mind that musicians that I really like would want to come hang out with us. Like that was just never on the cards. It was like, man, let me just shoot some shit, talk about some music that I love. But like legit musicians coming and hanging out with us wasn't plan. That wasn't a part of the plan. And so like the way this is
And then
all just
that first one showed up, which was me, of course. And
you
then it
being
was
the main one.
just a snowball, an absolute snowball.
Ever since you've come on, it has been downhill. Like nobody obviously can ever top you. But man, I'm just so pumped to have him on. Everybody give a massive before we do that, hold on. Before we get to JR Carroll, I want to let y'all know that if you would like to tip or to donate to JR, all of the money that gets tipped and donated tonight goes straight to JR. I will make sure it gets to him. If you're on YouTube, there's a pinned comment. You can hit that link, go and give a tip. I'll be kind of watching who's tipping and all that kind of stuff so I can make sure that JR knows. Actually, let me just go ahead and pull that up before I
and if you're a Twitcher, definitely send your donation through the Twitch app, right? Because it's like less fees, right?
well, yeah, I mean,
or is it
definitely.
the website?
This is all through.
All through the website. You know
This
what?
is
Don't even
all
listen
through.
to me, man. Don't even. You know what? I'm just gonna mute my microphone.
This is all of the donations will be going through that link. So we've already got 2 donations. Chad tipped $10, says Oklahoma for the win. Mark Anderson tipped $10 earlier. So we already got $20 going for my man. We trying to get this man to some nice things around here. He might want a new Dale Earnhardt t-shirt. He's already wearing the best one that has ever been around. So everybody give a massive, huge Americana Addicts welcome to my man wearing a Dale Earnhardt shirt, Mr. J.R. Carroll, ladies and gentlemen. What's going on, man?
Not a whole lot, guys. How you doing? It's good to be here.
What's up?
Man, we are so glad to have you here. As soon as you showed up with that shirt, I just knew tonight was going to be our night. Why don't you let's just go in and get into the serious stuff. What does Dale Earnhardt mean to you? What does he represent in your life? Who is he to you?
Man, this is hilarious. I love Dale. Race Hell praise Dale first and foremost to get that out of the way for
Come
the
on
real
now.
ones out there. Dude, it's just always been dope to me that there's just this guy who races cars who everybody in America knows and thinks is like the epitome of America and what we should be. Just tough, hard-nosed, the Intimidator. That's obviously like a dope nickname anyways. Just means America, if we're being realistic, dude.
And I think I need to bring my mustache back after just staring at his mustache and just how
It makes me want to shave mine. I'm like, I'm not even worthy of it.
Man, we just got another donation from Steve Clark. He gave you 99 cents for a pink ice cream cone.
That
Sweet.
That's our drummer. That's the drummer in the Zach Bryan crew. Shout out to the boys representing.
All right.
Best drummer in the band.
A pink ice cream cone. Is there a story behind a pink ice cream cone? Or is that just a strange
Honestly,
thing?
if there is, I don't remember it. Steve is a brilliant man with a comedic genius going on, so it might be a little bit above my head, above my pay grade.
Right on. So man, like I said, thanks for coming. And I have been checking out some of your music. We uploaded a video. We had actually listened to multiple of your songs on stream recently, but I wanted us to do a real video and to talk about some things that really mean a lot to me. Pride and Prejudice meant a lot to me. And I just don't think people realize how amazing your voice is. And I just want to throw that out that you have the voice of an angel. so let's just get down to where did you learn to sing like that, man? Because I sound like I sing in a gutter, and you sound like you learned to sing straight from the heavens.
Man, I'll be honest, it was out of pure jealousy. My brother is 20 times better singer than I am, older, better looking, some would say. I disagree personally, but he was always he was always the one who was the singer in the family. Of course, my whole family's pretty musical, and I guess when we got old enough to really fight and start making problems for each other, we decided that we'd make a truce and just start singing together. So I started singing harmonies for him, and he was kind of insane about it. We'd go for hours and have to match syllables and start here, stop here. If I was wrong, then it was pause on each other. We're violent, I guess, but just out through the fire is how I learned it. And then started singing in church when I got old enough, and when they started needing me, leading the worship and all that good jazz.
Yeah,
Taught me a lot, I guess.
Here, hold on.
So you saying you grew up in church, huh?
You know a
Yeah.
little bit about that church life, is what you're trying to tell us,
brother. I know plenty. Yeah.
Right.
So Chuck and I have both. I'm a son of a preacher man. Chuck's got plenty of stories to talk about the church. I also grew up singing in church, worship leading. What extent did it make it to? Were you a worship leader? Did you play in the band? Like, how did you go from just singing in church to like actually maybe
I did
leading?
all of it, man. I played piano, organ, and drums at different points. I led worship a lot for after my brother. My brother started preaching out, evangelizing. He left home, so it was kind of just all on me and my mom and my dad. So I played everything, led worship, did all that. Me and my brother traveled a lot when we were younger, singing as the Carroll brothers on the Pentecostal circuit. So
Hallelujah.
we've been road dogs for a while.
Come on now.
But yeah, that's it was everything, man. It's all I did for the longest. It was a what I wanted to do for the longest time, I guess.
Yeah, and there's so many. Go ahead, Chuck.
So I just want to get the picture right. So you would stand in front of people with a guitar and a microphone and sing worship songs, lead worship songs.
No, I would sit at the piano. I've been playing guitar.
Okay.
It's funny that y'all picked Pride and Prejudice, which I appreciate you showing some love to that song. That one's really special to me. But I have been playing guitar for like 3 months when I recorded that video. And it was,
no kidding.
I look back at it and I kind of cringe because I hear some serious little plunks and
there were
tankers, and I'm like, oh,
but see,
I'm still not very good, but I'm better than that, I promise.
But this is what I have been trying to tell a lot of the songwriters in our community. Mistakes and like little nitpicky things at the end of the day do not matter. What matters is if you make people feel something, or if you make them have any kind of emotion. And so, like, to me, I could tell that, and I'm not a great guitar player at all, but I could tell that, you were new on the guitar, but that doesn't bother me at all. By the way, we got a couple of more anonymous tips. We got an anonymous tip for $3.33, and then Bruzy tipped $1. Coffee is on me, JR, he says. Thank y'all. Well, so I find so many people in country music start off in church. And then Jessica Nally just tipped $20. Let's go, Jessica.
Oh, let's go.
My goodness.
Do you know Jessica?
Eyes on the prize, boys.
I don't. Thank you. If I do, my sincere apologies. I'm so sorry, but not off the top of my head, no.
All right, so my question is, how much of a correlation or how much mixing together do you see worship leading and church music and country music and what you're doing these days?
Oh, that's a good question. You know what? I feel like the music that I play and the music that Zach plays, because I'm in his band, not to name drop or bring that up, but just because, his music and my music alike are kind of, there's a message. It's nothing too bad, man. It's just good music that makes people feel good. There's a community. There's a sense of home and belonging and acceptance. And I think that that's important for people. And when I was singing in church, I sang to, what I thought I was doing or what I was trying to do was sing to make people's days a little bit better and help them get through and sing some songs that would, soothe the soul. And now what I'm doing is a little bit on a bigger scale and a little bit different kind of music, but I think we're out there trying to make people's days and lives better by telling real stories and singing something that means something to us,
Yeah, I don't know. For me, it was such a liberating experience because, doing worship music, there's so much more on the line. Like, you're talking about people's souls, you're talking about salvation, or like all of these like massive, heavy topics. And then just to like go out and sing a song about things that to me don't like weigh on people. Like, of course, songs that deal with addiction or that touch people's hearts. But like, to me, it was so liberating because I felt like I wasn't trying to save anybody anymore. Does that make any sense? Like, it was
Oh yeah,
just
definitely.
this common thing that we come together, and it's not on me to like encourage you to do anything. It's just like, let's just sing some songs,
That's where it's different for me. I always felt like it was less on me, and this is more just kind of like the way that I guess my dad framed it for me as a kid or as a younger guy. But it always felt like it was less on me. I was more so just, and also this is very evangelical, but just a conduit, if you will, or more of a vessel that it didn't depend on, people weren't coming to see me. That was the thing that is different now. Is now when I play shows, they're coming to see me, they're coming to see Zach or whatever. It feels like a lot more pressure. So I don't necessarily relate to the liberating part of it. It seems a little bit more intense on that end, but it is liberating, the topics. I can agree with that.
That's what happens when you grow up Baptist, like me. It's a different world out in that Baptist church.
Bro.
By the way, Mr. J.R. Carroll, one of our most generous folks here in the Americana Addicts community, the Godfather himself, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Joshua D, just donated $200.
That dude shows up.
Oh
that dude shows up,
man.
That's the Godfather.
That's the Godfather right there.
That's
and he also said, just because this man wrote a song about things I've been preaching in the South for a long time, for a lifetime, Pride and Prejudice. Oh, and 3 for Dale, baby.
Yeah.
Man.
Also, Jay
so
Cisco donated $420. We getting on up there, and I'm just going.
Whatever happens. Yeah.
I'm gonna let everybody know that there's gonna be a Burt Byler Enterprise, Burt Byler LLC donation that comes at some point through the night. We'll keep that a little bit later.
Oh, Jesus.
But we can't have you go home with just a bunch of idiots talking on the internet. We got to fill them pockets a little bit, ladies and gentlemen. So if you can, go ahead and hit that thing. Let's help the man out. Love on him a little bit. And is there a better way to love on a songwriter than throwing a couple of dollars in his wallet? I don't know.
Songwriters are the strippers of musicality.
Yeah,
like my grandmother always used to say.
Friend, tool for cheap amusement.
Yeah. So you guys are making it overly complicated. You nerds have got all this shit mixed up. Here's the thing. It is, how many chords are in a gospel song, right? In a praise song, right?
About
P-dub, right?
Yeah.
3. How many in a country song? The first time I showed up to play for the Colonels, I was like, I know all these songs. This song is Salvation is Here and is Honky Tonk Barbecue or whatever we were playing. I don't even know if that was on the set list then. But it's like, I suddenly realized that because I've been playing in church, I was very flexible to play pop music, because church music was designed to be so accessible. And then, I had grown up with so much where we come from, we had Miss 103 on the radio. I grew up with so much country music. I grew up in the early 90s, a golden era of country music. And there was so much of that like getting into country was just like falling back into just this very comfortable thing that was hand in hand with all the church music that I was doing. I grew up on both of them, for sure.
Yeah.
So what type of stuff do you like to listen to besides country music? What do you get into?
I listen to a lot of gospel.
Come on now.
I'm into like Kirk Franklin, Andre Crouch, Marvin Sapp, the Winans, and I've a little bit of Phoebe Bridgers. Can't forget Phoebe Bridgers. I have a deep affinity for all things Phoebe. Not so much anymore. My girlfriend's probably gonna watch this and she's gonna be mad at me. It's purely platonic, and I'm impressed by her talent. But yeah, man, just a lot of gospel, a lot of bluegrass, and whatever Turnpike is considered.
Come on now, let's just
dude. Don't even get me started right now.
Let's talk about it.
Don't even get me started right now.
It's air out our emotions.
It's the greatest band on God's green earth, and they're back together, and they're playing at Red Rocks, and I'm gonna be there. I don't care what I have to do or who I have to fight, whatever I have to do. I'm gonna be there.
I did a live video yesterday talking about how pumped I was, and I threw out the gauntlet. I said, let's pick a place, because what I thought was they were going to announce a tour, and then like maybe we could pick a place, but then they were like, no, we're just going to throw out one date, which makes it easy. That's where we're going. So Chuck and D, I've never been to Red Rocks.
Me neither.
And I'm going. I don't care what you have to say about it. We're going. So it's just going to be a massive coming together of folks, of the best folks. So everybody just going ahead. I mean, I'm already looking at hotels and planes. Like, I'm probably going to go regardless if I get a ticket. Because you know it's going to sell out, in like 5 minutes?
It's going to be quick. It's going to be real quick.
It's going to sell out. Chucky, are you coming or not? Did he freeze up on us?
Either that or he's very stoic.
Or he's very upset. There he is.
Yeah, I'm having some serious internet problems. I heard you talking like hotel. That's exactly what it sounded like.
Are you coming to Red Rocks to see Turnpike?
Me?
Yes.
TBD. My only thing is that I'm going to have to fly, and I can't afford to fly. Everybody knows I can't afford to fly. I've been talking about it this whole time. I can't afford to fly.
I know how many credit card points you got in your account. You could afford to fly.
Cash in them miles, baby. It's worth it.
Come on.
Yeah.
So how big of a deal is Turnpike to you? What do they mean to you? Why do you love their music?
They're my favorite band of all time, man. They're from like 45 minutes from here. Evan Felker's from like 45 minutes from here. When I started playing music, man, the thing that I always told all my friends is like, day I meet Cody Canada and the Turnpike Troubadours is the day I stop. And then I met RC, and he's just I got to play a couple shows with him with his side project, RC and the Ambers, and just the coolest guy, and so kind and encouraging and open to just talk to me about anything. And then I realized that meeting them made me just want to make music more, and now they're back together, and it's the most exciting thing because I got into them. Everybody from where I'm from thinks Turnpike is God, and they're correct. But
amen.
I got into them right before they broke up, and I had tickets to their last show on the tour that they canceled.
Oh, no.
And I never got to see them live, and that was the most painful thing for my entire existence.
Man.
So I will fight heaven and earth to get to Red Rocks in May.
We got to go. So we have this big debate on our channel. We did a video debating whether modern day songwriters, what state had the best modern day songwriters. And Texas obviously used to win all the old school ones. But then my argument is with Childers and Sturgill and a lot of folks like Kentucky has been beaten out. That whole like area. But the question is, with Turnpike back, is Oklahoma now back in the top 2? By the way, it's a question from Chad Dan in our Discord that he asked this. Does this put Oklahoma back in that conversation?
Man, that's a great question. I have always felt like a lot of the best songwriters in the genre came from Oklahoma. Mike McClure, for example, Evan Felker, John Fulbright, Zach Bryan. You know, there's some John.
Favorite.
Oh God, don't let me forget John Moreland.
Come on,
and so many others. I have a lot of friends around here that are also just unbelievable, phenomenal songwriters. So I think that they deserve a place in the conversation. I'm not going to say that it's better than anywhere else. Although
I'm going to say it. Oklahoma songwriters are better than Texas songwriters. You can come
Boomer Sooner.
Don't do this to me. Go Pokes, actually. Go Pokes, pistols firing. Look, OSU, baby.
Look.
Oklahoma State Brew University.
I think that we can have now the conversation between Oklahoma and Kentucky. But right now, in my opinion, with modern day folks, Texas ain't in the conversation.
I got to agree. I'm going to just say it. You're right.
I do want to represent a little bit, though, Alabama.
Come on,
right?
I mean, I am.
Wait, which way is it? On my screen, it's Alabama. Which way is it facing? I can't. It's either Mississippi or Alabama.
If we're picking the top 3 from those states, so like you could argue what they are. I think Evan Felker's got to be there. I personally think John Moreland's got to be there. Yeah. Then you could argue some other folks. But to me, Texas ain't it ain't competing with those 2 right there. There ain't nobody on the Texas scene right. Not now.
Not currently. If it was back in the day when Guy Clark and Towns and them boys were still running around, it'd be a different story. But it's 2021, and God rest their souls, they're dead and gone. It's a different story now.
Texas,
I'm not including myself. I'm acting real cocky. I'm not including myself in this at all. I just love my state.
Hey,
look, this is. I think that it's a very specific way of looking at it, right? It's like you had a thing that Texas was, and Texas is not that right now. But you got to understand that Texas, just like every other place, guaranteed to have a ton of songwriters and a ton of bands rocking like from state line to state line that will knock your socks off, right? The thing is, we just haven't heard about them yet. So there's some badass stuff.
I can put you, if y'all really want to know, I can put y'all on.
Come on now, talk to me.
If y'all really want to know about some Texas guys that deserve some shine, I can put y'all on. Tanner Usry, Parker Ryan, and Jordan Nix.
Say that again, because we got old Laggy McGee over here. What?
Tanner Usry, Parker Ryan, and Jordan Nix. Those are the 3 baddest men in the state of Texas, and I will die on that hill.
I have never heard.
Unbelievable.
I've never heard of any of those names.
I'll send you some stuff after we get off of here, man. Those are my guys first and foremost, but they are unbelievably talented artists, and they deserve to be massive.
Okay, so pick your top 3 states. Mine are John Moreland. I'm gonna say it, man. Oklahoma is number 1. Oklahoma, Evan Felker and John Moreland are.
That's a tough 2 to beat. That is a tough 2 to beat.
You cannot. I love Tyler Childers. Thanks to him, I have a YouTube channel. I love Sturgill. I love Chris Stapleton. But there's just you put on. You give me In the Throes by John Moreland, and I will put that album up against anybody. I don't care. I'm saying it. I think Oklahoma's got the best. Now that Evan Felker's back.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel about it.
I can't disagree. And I can say that it's because I'm a homer, but I gotta say Oklahoma's number 1. Wherever Childers is from is number 2. And then then probably I will say Texas. I'll be kind to my guys. Texas top 3.
I mean, then we could talk about West Virginia. But man, we got a couple more tips from folks. From Jonathan Payton, tip $10, said, JR, you're a beast. Ron Harvey tipped $1 and he said, back in May in Caney, I told you to be patient because your time was coming. Now look at you on the Burt Ballard live stream. It's as big as it gets, ladies and gentlemen.
Big time, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
Says, about to explode onto the scene, bud. Can't wait to hear the new album. You were awesome at Canes, brother. Senor also gave $9, said, my family was a Bill Elliott family, but I'll forgive you, JR. Keep making honest, heartfelt music.
Senor knows a little bit about everything. He knows a little bit about everything.
We're already up to $273.
Oh my gosh.
We try to get this man put a little money in his pocket. But yeah, all right. So that's how we feel about. That's how I feel about it. I'm Team Oklahoma. Come at me if you don't agree. JR, you ready to sing a little bit, buddy?
Yeah, man, absolutely.
Do your thing, man.
Y'all hear that? Everything okay?
Yeah, all good, man. Sounds great.
All right. This is a song I wrote called Preacher Man. I wrote it for my dad. Like I think I mentioned, he's a preacher. He wishes I was too. So sorry, Pops. Here you go. Well, I ain't the kind of man who'd turn and run from a fire. Got no money in my pockets, all I carry these days is my old man's knife. I ain't sweating for my wages, I'm just fighting demons raging in the dark. Between memories and broken dreams, I ain't sure there's a real good place to start. Still, I'm pretty good at playing roles. I've been acting like I'm something that I'm not for a while. I've been running from my nature, trying to change it, but turns out there's plenty of parts of me ain't worth saving. I'm no good son of a preacher man with a smoking habit in a one-piece band. Not a clue in the world what I'm doing or where I'm bound. And I'm running off low on give a dams, and I'm trying to learn to accept who I am. I ain't asking for approval anymore, Papa, I'm grown now. I'm gonna make you proud. I'm gonna make you proud. Well, I had a dream the other night that I was standing on a stage. In the shadows of the crowd, I swear to God I saw your face. You came to me with open arms and told me you were proud of who I was. But I woke up alone again, and I can't face the man that I've become. Still, I'm pretty good at playing roles. I've been acting like I'm something that I'm not for a while. I've been running from my nature, trying to change it, but turns out there's plenty parts of me ain't worth saving. I'm a no good son of a preacher man with a smoking habit in a one-piece band. Not a clue in the world what I'm doing or where I'm bound. And I'm running off low on give a dams, and I'm trying to learn to accept who I am. I ain't asking for approval anymore, buddy, I'm grown now. I'm gonna make you proud. I'm gonna make you
I'm gonna start getting wild over here. I'm gonna start saying stuff. Man, you don't need me to tell you this, but you are fantastic. People are losing their damn minds in the comments. I got one guy just tipped $100 more, been jamming
Oh,
what we
Jesus.
call El Capo here at the channel. He's like the Godfather. He's one of the most generous folks I know. So we're already up to $373. But man, you start singing songs about a preacher man, and you gonna make me lose it on this damn live stream. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that song, where it comes from, or any like little side stories that you'd like to throw at us?
Yeah, man. My dad and my brother both are kind of like really well known in the Pentecostal world, and my dad especially has been since I was since I was born, I guess. But so I kind of grew up in the spotlight, but in a very like niche bubble situation. And it was always kind of expected of me to follow in the footsteps. And especially when I was younger, I really wanted to. It was, all I knew, so I thought that was the coolest thing you could do. And as I got older and got out into the world a little bit more and started, I don't want to say thinking for myself because I don't want to paint it in that light, but thinking for myself and kind of trying to figure out what I believed and what I wanted to do with my life, realized that preaching wasn't necessarily what I was going to go for. So I had to figure out something else. And I just kind of started writing songs and figuring it out from there. And my dad came to me right when I started, and he said, "Son, this is, you kind of got to choose, one or the other. You can't be a country musician and a preacher or a worship leader at the same time. Just don't really work out. The kind of places you need to play to get started ain't the kind of places that a preacher would go." And I agreed with him, and I decided to try and chase whatever dream that I wasn't even sure I had. I figured I'd just go all the way in. Ultimatums kind of do that for you, make you just throw your lot over the other side of the fence. So I did, and got pretty tense for a little while. But here several months back, we kind of touched up, and we're back in a real. I saw him today. Got back from tour, saw him immediately. Things are really great, and I really appreciate how far he's come. Lord, I'm getting so personal on this thing. I apologize.
Let's talk about dads, man. Let's talk about dads.
But yeah, things have gotten better, and that song just kind of to show him like, hey, I heard what you was telling me when I was growing up. I listened to you.
Yeah, and that's a situation that I live daily. Like it sounds like your dad had his head on straight. I was an idiot, and I tried to do both worlds. I tried to keep one foot in the church world and one foot in the honky tonk world, and it really strained relationships with my family, strained my work relationship with the church. How hard? Because I know how hard it was for me to have those conversations with my family. How hard was it to tell your dad, like, no, I want to go this other route?
Oh man, it was difficult too. It was real difficult. My dad's. I'm 22, man. My life view is very much shaped by the overarching theme of it so far. Just up until a couple years ago, is my relationship with my family and my church, and that's really it. So that's my reference point for everything. It just it was really hard because that was all I ever knew was the church, all the relationships that I had built, other than the ones from like my school, my high school, which I had one. I met Zach, wonderful friends, and support group from there. But it was really tough because I knew things were going to change in a kind of a rapid way, and they did. But we survived it.
It sounds like we have so much in common, and I don't think people realize the weight of expectation that you carry. So you said your dad is well known in that world. My dad is kind of well known in the Southern Baptist world, and from a very young child, I had so much expectation put on me as like the golden child of music and church and all this kind of stuff. And I don't think people get how hard it is to turn away from that, because it's not just saying, "Hey, I'm not going to sing in church anymore." It's a massive deal. How was it to you? How was that decision? I mean, how did you feel a big weight off your shoulders when you made the decision, or how did you?
No, I felt a big weight on my shoulders.
Yeah, yeah.
I immediately, dude, it's strange, and I don't want to talk about it in a negative light, because I'm thankful for what it was, and I'm thankful for being raised the way that I was, because it instilled a lot of really, I think, good things in me, and a lot of good principles, and the way that I conduct myself now, and whatever modicum of success that I've achieved, which is relative. And I'm not trying to say that I have, but it's because of a lot of those things that I learned growing up. But it was very difficult to break away from those things and recognize that I can take the good from these experiences, and from this knowledge, these things that I've seen and experienced, and I can take that and I can leave the parts of it that aren't conducive to what I believe or what I feel anymore, and it still be okay. And I'm still getting to that point, to be honest with you. It's a long process of trying to figure out just what it is, life in general. Like I said, I'm 22, and I got no false pretense that I have it all figured out. But
I'm 36, and Chuck is like 64, and we still are figuring that out, man. So there's no rush, right?
I think there's a interesting echo of experience, JR, and what you've experienced and what Bert experienced and what I experienced. It wasn't my father, because I didn't have, my dad wasn't plugged in like this, but my mentor, my spiritual mentor, made it very clear that there was not room for me to honky tonk and play at church.
Yeah.
And it wasn't as I think, with the tension that you've had with your father, I would say even with that tension, it did not go as well between me and my mentor as it went between you and your father. And I had the distinct impression of feeling as if I had the ground pulled out from under me, because my identity was in family and church. And those two things became very rocky for me.
That's a Southern experience.
You think both of those things happened to you at the same time, kind of because they're related?
Yeah, I think that especially when your family is in the ministry, if you decide to leave that kind of lifestyle, it's very difficult, man. I have a tense relationship with my brother most of the time. We fought like cats and dogs growing up anyway, so it's not much different, but it feels a lot different now when there's contention between us, because there's this unspoken knowledge of, like, you and I, we just don't see eye to eye fundamentally anymore, and that's a strange thing to experience with people that you're as close to as anybody. It's just different, but it definitely happened for me. I can't speak for anybody else's experience, but for me it happened very much so at the same time, because the church and the family was the same thing, and they were all kind of arm's length, and that was partly by my choice too. I distanced myself as well, so it wasn't like they were like nobody ever told me go away. I'll say that, but not a whole lot of people said keep on coming around.
Well, if you ever want to share some old church stories, me and Chucky D got plenty of fun church stories.
I got some good ones for sure.
Church folks, love y'all, but y'all can be a little crazy.
I sang a song about a big house an awful lot. I don't know why I kept singing about this big house all the time. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't know if them Pentecostals be singing that Audio Adrenaline, man.
The Pentecostals sing Audio Adrenaline?
I don't know. This Pentecostal didn't, or this.
By the way,
you might just be too young. I mean, it might just be a generational difference.
That's exactly what it is. And then, by the way, speaking of denominations, the Methodists, they were okay with me like honky tonking and singing. I worked there for years, and they were like, they loved me. They were great. So I'm gonna throw everybody else under the bus, but then Methodists, I'm all right with them Methodists. So we got a couple of more tips. We are almost up to $400, Mr. JR. We got Jay Smitty tip $10, and he said, "Great voice, keep up the good fight, brother." What's up, Smitty? And then Ty said, "Buy yourself some cheddar biscuits from Red Lobster." He tipped $10.
Y'all had them Red Lobster cheddar bay biscuits?
I have I have had my fill on a cheddar biscuit.
I know a guy who knows a guy, and I think that's what Mano was. If I'm not mistaken. Son, that's
He's gone. He's gone.
I'm telling you, boy, that's heavenly right there. That's dropped on the first.
Dropped him.
7:00 on Saturday, boy. You walk outside, get them cheddar bays.
This man is a preacher. I'm telling you. I know some preachers. This man's a preacher.
Lepage asked if his dono came through. Lepage, I believe it did. No, I don't see it, buddy. Maybe it did. I don't know. Let me refresh. I'll check it out. So let's talk about food real quick. What's been your best tour meal, or what's your favorite meal that you guys had on tour? What was your favorite thing you ate?
That's a tough one, man. There was a lot of DoorDash. We ate at an Italian restaurant in Louisville that was way, way, way too fancy for us. They wanted so bad to throw us out. I'm telling you, that manager was at our table 11 times. You can't go in public with us. So we didn't go out to like fine dining very much because we don't know how to act in public.
Yeah. I don't feel like we're the best at acting good in public. But when you're rock stars, man, you get to just have a little fun.
Listen, man, no, that wasn't rock star. That was just Oklahoma jackass behavior. That didn't have nothing to do with being rock stars. We're just stupid kids from Oklahoma, and somebody decided to put us on a bus somewhere.
Yeah. Let's pivot into talking a little bit about Pride and Prejudice. So we had our spill. We talked about how much we love that song and how much I appreciate, especially younger folks like yourself, having that tough conversation. What was there a moment that pushed you to write that song? Do you remember anything specific, or was it just kind of a general feeling?
Yeah, I remember it was the George Floyd incident. I remember watching it, and I say this with hope that there's understanding that I progressed past this point, but I caught myself initially wanting to find a way to defend the police officer. I wanted to. I didn't want to accept in my mind that this evil just happened in front of me. There had to be a reason for it. There had to be something that went on. But then you just sit there, and he just stayed. And he just kept sitting there with his knee on his neck. And I watched it, and it made me sick. And not to virtue signal or anything, but I just went outside, and this is the most like ridiculous and over the top thing I've ever done as a songwriter. But I went and I drove out into a pasture out behind our house, and I sat in the back of my truck, and I just wrote that song and sang it until I felt better. And that's how I wrote it. It was just what I was feeling that day.
It's kind of like I said in the video, you and I, my songs like that always turn out real angry, real electric guitar driven, real like, rah! And you write this like beautiful, incredible melody, incredible song. Did you want to say anything about that song, Chuck?
I want to say you wrote a song about my phone falling over. I'm telling you, hey, listen, can I just say, JR, I apologize. I know you've been seeing all of the squirrely antics of me trying to get my tech
Hey
worked out,
man,
man. I'm sorry. That was so distracting during your song. I had to go through 3 different devices.
He
I
couldn't see you.
apologize to you on the stream. My whole point being that I forgot what we were talking about. My phone falls over and I lost my damn mind.
We're talking about the Pride and Prejudice song that he wrote.
Right.
That
So I feel so I'm from a law enforcement and military family.
mm-hmm.
And I relate so hard to the initial defensiveness of police, right?
Mm-hmm.
And um, I, my brothers both worked in law enforcement, and cousins, my best friend growing up, like all these people, and um, it was very hard for me to listen to the experiences of other people. And I really relate to that moment where you were just like so shook that you behaved in a weird way because the breaking down of that and the understanding that there's nuance in there to all different degrees of
Yeah.
what actually happens daily um that's a gut punch moment. That is a serious kind of awakening, and I really appreciate your honesty with that. It gave us an opportunity to talk about our experiences and our family experiences as well.
And that meant a lot to me. I told Bert on Twitter DMs, but I watched the video and I think the conversation you guys had was so important. Man, there's so much. I don't think people understand nuance so much anymore. That people are more
Hmm.
than just one part or one thing about them. Like you mentioned your grandfather and my grandfather, both of my grandfathers, they both passed on now, but uh, they were similar in that. And I think back fondly on them and respect the men that they were and the things that they did for my mom and my dad, but also recognize that they had this glaring issue that I can't allow myself. I shudder. My goal in life is to when I pass on and God willing I have kids and grandkids. If my grandkids are doing an interview with your grandkids,
come
they don't
on now.
have to say, Papa, he was sure sweet to us and whittled with us and was real patient, but he just didn't like minorities. That's just
Hmm.
not something that I'm into, and I hope to God that I can leave behind a little bit better legacy that showed a little bit more love and understanding to everybody.
And I think it's so important that people are willing to admit, like you just admitted, that your first reaction wasn't a great reaction. And we
Hmm.
all do this, whether it's about
All the time.
race, whether it's about
All the time.
like poor people or just
Mm-hmm.
so many things, because we grow up in culture and culture teaches us how to think. And shocked that a white man from the South would have a negative thought about
Yeah.
a situation like that. And I think the more that we can open up and be real and be like, hey, uh my first in and this happens to me a lot as a teacher. I have so many preconceived notions about my students before I even meet them the first day. A certain student walks in that looks a certain way, dresses a certain way. These things just pop into my mind, and I think, oh, this kid is like that. And I think the more we're honest and the more we can open up and say that we all are trying to grow and we all need to show people grace and allow people to grow without immediately thinking they're the worst people ever. And so you writing that song, just it meant a lot to me, and especially you talking about it, you being honest, because you could have just said, "Oh, well, the George Floyd thing happened and it pissed me off," but you were mature enough to
You
put
owned it.
your part in there too.
I don't think that, and I not to imply that y'all do, but I don't think that it's a bad thing to admit when you have if you have prejudice in you, then the problem begins when you don't admit that it's prejudice and don't start working to remove it. I
Exactly.
if you grow up in the South, I don't care who you are or what you say, you heard things growing up that you shouldn't have.
Come on
and you
now.
probably said things growing up that you shouldn't have.
Laughed at the
regardless
jokes.
of who you are. Oh, yeah. The White
yeah.
Man's World, Jason Isbell, my
That's
favorite
it.
writer. So I think that this idea that everybody gets to sit on a high horse and look down and say, oh, look at them doing this or feeling this way or thinking like this, it infuriates me. And I hope that we can, as a society, remove the stigma from admitting that, oh, I felt this way and it was wrong. There's nothing. The problem with being wrong is staying wrong. It's not being wrong.
Right.
Come on now.
That's the simplest way I've ever heard it put. That's the best. I'm gonna make a T-shirt.
It's kind of like that. The first thing that popped in my head was if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. Mm-hmm. It's like if you
sit in season and out of season.
That's right. That's a great idea.
I think that we do need to get better as we're all. I feel like a lot of people. There's a lot of variety in this community, but for the majority, we're a certain type of dude. And I feel like we as men need to get better at admitting that we're wrong quicker and with less ego attached to it, because it's an indication of maturity and strength to embrace that and to change and actively make yourself better. And I think that we as men, and I struggle with this so much, especially when I'm like depressed or anxious, at just admitting I was wrong about this. Time to back down, time to learn, and that's like, it is a huge ego shot, but I think that's what we need to reach for, is being willing to admit that we're wrong sooner and with less emotional attachment to it.
I think early on, learning at like 20 or 21 years old that everything you thought was right was wrong is a beautiful way of being able to admit that you're wrong easily. Like, it's just kind of a jarring experience that your perception was not reality. And when that happened for me, it became really apparent that if I want to be any kind of person, or not just of any sort of stature or notoriety, but just as a person that people want to know, I need to shut up and listen. One thing my dad always says, you'll need to do a whole lot more tuning in than you do broadcasting. So I like to sit and listen. So if you shut up, you'll know what you know and what everybody else knows too. And I think that's kind of where I'm at these days. I'm gonna let somebody else do the talking.
Come on now. Well, dude,
man, you and I will start a T-shirt company. I swear, you and me, T-shirts. Let's do this.
Well, man, thank you so much for sharing that. By the way, donations are still coming in hot, everybody. We got J Law tip $5. Said, don't know JR's music well yet, but appreciate the music I've heard and the conversation. Cole Dunbar tips $6.90.
That's my
boy. He says us Methodists love us some JR.
That's my brother's brother-in-law.
That's it.
All right.
And then old Cody America, not really, Cody America says, pretty insightful guy, good perspective. If more folks were thoughtful like this, there would be more thoughtful people. Little Cody dropping a little wise wisdom right there.
Mm-hmm. Cody.
Yeah, so we're up to $415. We're still climbing.
Oh my goodness!
Don't be there's gonna be more to come. I still hadn't put mine in, but
y'all don't. This is the thing is like these people in this community love to support the things that they love. So this is just these folks telling you they love you and they love what you do, man.
That's what we do best around here is loving on folks. So, man, you ready to sing another song for us?
Yeah, y'all got any requests? I wanted to sing Preacher Man, but I'm open to whatever.
All right, let's see in the comments what requests we got. Might be a little lag, so it might take just a second for them. But anybody got any ideas on any songs? Let's see. Cody says this guy's like the Oklahoma version of Yoda.
Hopefully in wisdom and not looks. I'll take. You know what, dude? I got a girl suckered into liking me. That's fine. I can look like Yoda too. That's all right.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So Jonathan Payton says stay. Can you do stay?
I can do stay. And if you haven't heard of Jonathan Payton, you should check him out.
He sent me one of his songs the other day, and it was fantastic. I wanna do one of his songs on the channel here soon. John, shout out to Jonathan. We love you, buddy. Thank you for hanging with us.
You know what? I'm sorry, John. I love you, but I see a Where the Red Fern Grows in here, and I kind of want to do that one.
Come on now,
cool.
Chad Caligari.
This is, I guess this is my most popular song. It's got the most streams and all that stuff, but this is my favorite song to play. I wrote it about my little cousin. She's a softball player. She just committed, and I think she's meant for more than just her little spot in Oklahoma. So I wrote this song about it. She lives right across from one of the hollers that was in the Where the Red Fern Grows book. Well, towards the border of the northeast corner of Oklahoma lives a native girl. Spends her days in Delaware County, but she wants to see the ocean for the pearls. Never had two nickels to rub together. All she knew was how to work. So she's singing for some change in a guitar case. Pull herself out of the dirt. She sings, I love this place, but it ain't my home. I belong where people hear my songs and sing along. And I hate to leave, but I've got to go. I was meant for more than missing cowboys. Who swore he'd make her shine, so she ran on to the city, left the boys she loved and family behind. She sings, I love this place, but it ain't my home. I belong where people hear my songs and sing along. And I hate to leave, but I've got can hear her say, she sings, I love this place, but it ain't my home. I belong where people hear my songs and sing along. And I hate to leave, but I've got to go. Corner of Oklahoma lives a native girl.
And I love your voice, 'cause you sang so good. Woo! Chugga D, I can't hear you, brother. I still can't hear
You're
you.
Muted, bruh.
Turn off that mute button. No.
Pain. Life is pain.
Yeah. Well, we'll just let him talk to himself over there for a little bit. Man, thank you so much for singing that song. Dude, the audio sounds amazing. Everybody's talking about how good it is. Mikhail wants to know what kind of Blue Ridge is that? What model is it?
Oh, that is a great question.
I got a
It
Blue
is
Ridge
a
myself.
BR140.
Because every time anybody asks me what kind of guitar I have, I never know the answer to it at all.
The BR140. Big shouts to Blue Ridge, man.
Any luck, Chuck?
I don't know. You tell me.
There it is.
Go.
There it is.
God.
Perfect. Yeah, now we got it.
All right.
Now we
Hey,
got it.
guys, guess what? Atlanta sucks for technology.
Heck yeah, dude.
His boomer ass is always blaming somebody else. Well, man, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us. I think that's going to wrap it up. So I just checked on the donations, and we're at $415.43. From Burt Byler Industries, we're going to go ahead and bump that up to an even $500 because we want to show songwriters how important y'all are, and any little bit that we can do to help. We don't have a huge platform. We don't have like massive numbers that we can like bring songwriters on to be like, here, I'll show you to 100,000 people. But we do have some very generous folks. And so, man, we're so honored that you would come hang out with us. We believe in what you're doing. We believe in you as a dude. And we can't wait to see more from you. And I guess we're going to be hanging out at the damn Red Rocks.
Right.
Yeah,
can we get you to shout out right quick where we can find your music and where we can reach you online on all the socials?
Yes.
Twitter, Instagram is JRV Carroll. Facebook, JR Carroll Music. YouTube, JR Carroll. Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, Amazon. LimeWire, I'm sure, if it still exists. All JR Carroll.
Napster.
Yep. Good old days.
Right on, man. You got any of your own shows coming up? Where you playing in the future?
I am taking some time off.
Good. Y'all been hitting the road hard, huh?
We just got off a month-long tour. Longest I've ever been away from home. I left my lady and my family and all my boys back here in Oklahoma, and now I'm home, and I'm getting out of state. I'm getting out of state twice this month. Going to a UFC fight in Vegas. Shout out the Lord, you know.
Let's go.
Shout out to everybody coming to a sold-out tour, dude. That was beautiful. And then we're going to New York. Me and my lady are going to New York in December. But other than that, I'm staying in Oklahoma and happy about it.
Very cool, man. Well, we're gonna get our plane ticket. We're gonna be headed to the Red Rocks.
Yes, sir. Colorado, baby.
We got to meet up somewhere. Let me buy you a couple of cold daddies and talk trash about Texas music.
I'm sober. I don't drink. I appreciate the offer.
But
I'll take a cold Dr. Pepper anytime you're willing.
Cold Dr. Pepper. That's what my papaw drinks. Old Dr. Pepper.
Yep. Dr. Pepper's good for you now. It's basically a health drink, if I understand it correctly.
Like that.
Yes.
Good for the digestive.
Hey, I tell you what, I'm gonna get Bert to send you my cell phone number. You can text me. I promise you, we'll only text church jokes. You'll love it.
Yeah, man, I'm down. That sounds good. We share
I'll put you in my church joke thread.
Well, dude, thank you so much, man. Have a great rest of your night. You are more than welcome back on this channel anytime. And we really appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you guys so much for having me on, man. It's been a real good time. Y'all take it easy.
Thanks, dude.
All right, buddy. See you, man.
You bet.
What a night, Chucky D.
Man, what are we going to do? Chuck can't figure out how to work a cell phone or an iPad or a computer?
you go to a different place and you leave me, and look what happens. Well, man, what a night. What a dude. What a guy. Man, thank y'all so much for being so generous. To me, like, us coming together and supporting folks is the coolest thing that we do. Like, it's the best. Like, nothing else even compares to getting together and loving on a songwriter. So thank y'all so much for the kind words. Thank y'all for the encouragement. Folks are saying some good stuff. You got any final words you want to say to everybody, Chuggy D?
Yeah. How about this? When Red Rocks happens, who's with me? Who's with me?
In not going?
Who's with me?
We all going. Everybody. All the folks.
I've been told recently, so, when we had all this is something I wanted to share with you privately, but I'm going to do it online because it's the internet and it lives forever. So recently we've been talking about all of the fun that we've had as a community dealing with some really heavy topics. And I've been doing some impressions of how you responded to these topics. And I just want to do my impression of Bert Byler right now, but we're going to talk about Red Rocks. All right? Bert's like, man, we're all going to Red Rocks. What are you talking about? We are going to Red Rocks. It's my Bert Byler.
I'm a hype man. It's what I do.
What's going on, y'all? Bert Byler.
I'm a hype man. I live to hype.
I do want to talk a little bit about it, if the folks will indulge us, just between you and me, about I was not nearly expecting JR's personal experience to be so similar to ours.
I mean, almost exactly the same as my experience.
Mm-hmm. Right.
He's just getting into it at a younger age than probably I did.
I wish that I had gotten into it at his age.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right, everybody. We love y'all. We're fixing to sign off. If you're new around here, hit that follow or subscribe button wherever you're watching. We plan on doing this more in the future. Like I said, we've got an amazing month coming up. I'm going to play a concert next Tuesday. We're going to do community musician night. So if you're a community musician, send me your song. We're going to love it on stream together. We're going to do classic country night with my grandfather and Uncle Glenn. And then we got our members only concert at the end of the month. We just got a lot of good stuff going on, D. So it's just going to be a great month. You excited about it?
I'm so pumped. It's just the Big Perch thing really pumps me up. I got to say, yeah, you guys have not seen nearly enough of Big Perch, and it's about to go down. It's going to be so good.
It's about to be wild. All right, yeah. Everybody. We love y'all. Hope y'all have a great night. Y'all let me know in the comments who's the next musician that we should interview. And have a great rest of your week. You look like you're about to say something.
Are we still live?
Yeah.
Oh, I was just going to say, I'm in Atlanta, so I got to go. If you know, you know.
Good luck, Chucky D.
Later on down the river.
See y'all.